Let me explain. Let me explain something. Check this out.
You've got to be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change.
Check this out.
Welcome to the very first Numis meeting. This will be a bi-weekly project update that we are going. Initially we're going to be focusing on a few things. One being the phase one. We have a 4-phase roadmap on phase one, on the current status of our different goals within that phase. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the community activities and some of the community support, including some paid bounties that we have that we need some help with. And then we'll wrap things up with a Q&A, AMA. Mister, I'm not sure, would you like to kick it off with maybe some of the project updates?
So as far as where we are as a project, we're currently working on integrating all the DeFi products that the merger with Y-Axis has endowed NumisMe with. We're considering that phase one. We shared a kind of 4-phase roadmap that looks at everything from immediate term, just right now, things we're working on and things that will be launching quite soon, all the way out through kind of more long-term vision kind of stuff. What we're working on right now is getting our new vaults and locking and APR boost, all the good stuff that, a lot of folks in the DeFi space have come to expect, and certainly any of our new NumisMe community members that are making the cut over from the Y-Axis side of things. All the things that they're used to in terms of managing and optimizing the yield that folks receive on assets deposited into vaults. With that phase one rollout, what we're looking to do is launch on app.numisme.io. What that will represent is a handful of vaults that support a few different assets, all plugged into their own bespoke strategies. We'll have Noom emissions going into the vaults eventually, but we won't be starting off with emissions right out of the gate. We do want to make sure that folks have a good amount of time to get into their vault positions. They have a good amount of time to pick up their Noom and lock their Noom to boost the rewards APR on their vaults. Give everybody a chance to just basically get everything set up and wait for emissions, wait for rewards to turn on. And when those rewards do turn on, what that'll look like is Noom token rewards going to vault users. And then we'll have Noom token rewards going to liquidity providers. The one cool thing that we're looking to do is to create this kind of virtuous cycle, incentivizing folks to participate in the protocol by locking up their Noom. And so while we're incentivizing the vault holders with the Noom tokens and liquidity providers with Noom tokens, we're going to be incentivizing Noom stakers, the folks that will stake and lock their Noom for a set period of time. We'll incentivize them with revenue share. And that revenue share is coming in the form of ETH. And so really what we're hoping that is going to accomplish is create a sufficient incentive structure where we see folks not just using the vault on their own, but also locking up Noom, perhaps acquiring the Noom and locking up the Noom to boost the APR in their vault, but also to be able to capture that non-native token reward, right, in the form of Ethereum and ETH. And we are further hoping that the emissions, the rewards that folks are going to receive from whether they're a vault user or they're a liquidity provider, that those rewards get locked up into VE Noom, right, voting escrow Noom, to get those ETH rewards as part of the revenue share. And that really, I think, is the core of the changes that we've instituted, following all the different learnings that we've gotten over the past year or so in terms of incentive structure, in terms of making sure that token buybacks on Harvest are dynamic, that emissions are dynamic, but really also, maybe even most importantly, is that we provide an incentive structure where folks are better incentivized to lock up their tokens because we are sharing revenue in the form of non-native token, in the form of ETH. So really at that point, it kind of just becomes a little question mark for anybody that is receiving Noom rewards on whether they want to lock in the spot market value of their Noom at that point by rotating out and cashing out into stablecoin or ETH, right? Or if they're more interested in taking their Noom position and putting it to work, right? Rather than realizing the one-off value of that Noom position, why not put it to work? Why not make it generate non-native token revenue? Why not make it generate passive income for you, right? And so that's really the heart of what we're working on with phase one of the roadmap. That'll be coming soon. As with all things on software development, especially on Web3, there are a lot of different bugs and a lot of different challenges that you can hit on the way to full deployment. And we find ourselves hitting a couple obstacles right now. We are working on getting our staging environment set up, and once that is set up, we'll be testing it before we go live. So that's kind of the order of operations here, right? We go into staging, we test everything, we make sure it's all working, the front end is bug-free, and then we go live, right? That's not to say that there won't be bugs in our production environment, but if there are, we can fix them. But we just want to make sure that we take the time to get the proper staging environment up, that we take the time to test it, and then go live. And alongside that, we'll be rolling out as part of phase one the token swap, quote unquote swap, right? So that's going to be available with this new UI that lives on app.numisme.io, and that will enable all the folks that qualify for the Noom token drop to basically receive their tokens over a period of 180 days with a linear equal distribution over those 180 days, basically a linear vest, daily vesting. So yeah, that's kind of where we are with phase one of the roadmap. I know that was a mouthful, but sorry, maybe I'll shut up now and let you move on with the agenda there, Mr. Pat.
That was a lot. There was a lot of good information. Just a reminder, if you guys are listening live, you can post questions into Discord or Telegram, and we'll get to them at the end. And if you're listening to this after the fact on YouTube or somewhere else, just feel free to drop into the community, drop in, on Twitter, and we're more than happy to chat with you and give you updates as best we can. So on the community side, there's actually quite a few notes I wanted to cover, and Aaron can jump in and add anything I miss. First thing is going to be bounties. We have a bounty board. I did post the link up, shared that. I'll put it up again as a reminder, but there are paid bounties. You could make some Noom, or even negotiate, for some of these, there's a little bit more work involved. Some of these are easy, there's stuff like, hey, make some stickers for Discord. But really anything from engineering to artwork to marketing, it's all going to be a part of the bounty board. Another reminder that we do have a weekly schedule of events. We have stuff like game nights. We have stuff like, hey, come out and have a coffee and let's catch up in the morning. We have happy hours. We have a lot of things. I'll also post up that schedule and invite everyone. Please, come drop in, hang out, chat. It's been a great opportunity to meet some of you. It's also an opportunity for you as an investor or as a user to get to know some of the team and ask questions. So, I had a lot of fun getting my butt kicked in poker this week as my beginner's luck wore off.
Yeah, you did just fine, Mr. Pat.
Yeah, it turns out you should fold sometimes. So the third thing is, and this is really just a generic brief note on the macro market. So if you're a new investor, you're new to crypto, you're new to investing overall, I just want to say that, completely get where you're coming from if you're feeling a little bit stressed. You're looking at the big picture, you're seeing record inflation, you're seeing it all over the world, you're seeing governments trying to contend with that while also trying not to trigger a recession that we may or may not already be in. All that said, the best time to invest, the best time to enter into a speculative investment, the best time is, in a bear market is when things are down. That's where you get those outsized gains. You buy when things are low, you sell when it's high, right? We don't want to do the opposite. We don't want to buy high, sell low, as the meme goes. That doesn't mean you should just go and dump your, mortgage your house and put 100% of everything in there now today. If it's something like, hey, I'm interested, I want to invest more, I'm not completely sure what a good strategy is, drop us a note. A lot of us have been around for many cycles. A lot of us are very active investors and traders, even beyond just this project, and we'll be happy to provide some non-financial advice that may help you, set you on in the right direction. Aaron or anyone, did you manage to get the bounty board up?
Yeah, you've almost got 10 different bounties up here. Poppy, you did such a great job with these, man. One of the ones you mentioned, like the sticker pack, we got that there. Got the NFT artwork. I remember getting some questions about this one. People were confused for a moment. Thought maybe we were going to have NFTs, but it's more like, artwork that we think is very good, representative, and we can give out, just basically give out in NFT forms, like to people as just like little fun rewards and stuff. So it's like, no, we're not an NFT project. We're just doing fun stuff. The videos for social media. We've got memes for social media, Medium articles, any kind of blog work for any writers out there. What's this real world testimonial review? That's a cool one. When it comes to the app actually being out and available for use, that's going to be some really good feedback, hopefully, in that bounty. That's super useful. Audio and video editing. Got our like logos for game nights and stuff like that. Some development support. Yeah, there's some great stuff on this bounty board.
Yeah, it's really all over the place. Me personally, I'm a bit of a creative person, terrible, but amateur artist that loves it. So I would really love some other creatives to come in here, folks, to talk about some of the NFTs that we want to do, the stickers, the emojis. I mean, there's just a lot of cool stuff. So and we really need help. We really truly do not have the bandwidth to support all this. So if you're ever, interested in dipping your toes into supporting DeFi project, maybe pulling back the curtain a little bit, this is an opportunity to do so. So please don't be shy.
I'm going to be getting busy on those memes now that I got that DFace app. Let's go there.
There are some good apps for that. So from an agenda perspective, Mister, I'm not sure what follows this. I think those were the big items.
Yeah, and just this is actually more for people that are listening on the recording after the fact, right? But I did drop the link to the bounty board in the general chat in our Discord. That is discord.gg/NumisMe. We'll get that link posted up as well in a link section that we'll create. We got a few different links coming in terms of the other things that are happening around our phase 1 roadmap. So, to your point, Pep, as far as what's next on the agenda, some of the things that we're working on to support our phase 1 milestone is, first, we're redesigning the landing page, the NumisMe.io. That will be basically speaking to the new vision, this larger supercharged entity that is now NumisMe, powered with full DeFi yield management and optimization opportunities and products. The new webpage will kind of speak to everything that's included, right? From the vaults to locking, and let's not forget phase 2. We're looking at our self-repaying loans product as well. So a little bit of alpha there on phase 2. But the new webpage on NumisMe.io will speak to all of that. As part of that, we do want to make sure that the folks that are looking to do their due diligence, looking to read through documentation, that they can do that kind of in a centralized document repository. We are using Gitbook. Gitbook is kind of the industry standard for listing documentation and really explaining all the ins and outs of a particular protocol. So we're building that out right now. And that will be going live alongside the renewed website, be going live alongside the new vaults and the gauges and the strategies and all that good stuff. A little sneak peek at what's coming, just kind of right around the corner there. We're super excited on getting all of this shipped out, and because as soon as we're ready, we're going to start turning on marketing activations, right? Whether it's AMAs or maybe some select choice influencers if we can find that right fit. But certainly a lot of social media campaigns. This is where one of the biggest points of having a weekly call is to keep the community updated and keep them on the same timeline that the team is on. When we do activate marketing, when we do get to the point where product is shipped, we're in production, everybody's rushing to get their positions all set up for emissions go live, we're really looking to the community to really help us not just get the word out there, but help us maximize the investment we're putting into paid marketing. From a marketing perspective, you really have two routes to go. If you're completely organic, not putting any dollars into your marketing, then it's really just a function of how either viral your content is and or how vast your already existing reach is. In other words, how many followers and how many eyeballs you're able to get in front of at any given time. Now, we're not quite in a position to be able to get the message out there, make everybody aware of what we're doing and our core value propositions. We will be having to go down that second route, which is to go with paid marketing to do whether it's AMAs or banner ads on Brave browser, the pop-up notifications, or banner ads on different websites, influencer activations, press releases, all that good stuff. It all takes money. In order for us to be able to get in front of the number of eyeballs we need to get in front of, it really becomes a question of how many dollars do you have? So what we're looking to do and where the community comes in here is really lean on the community. That's everybody that's in this call on the Discord stage live right now. It's everybody listening on the recording. It's everybody in our Discord and our Telegram and that's following us on Twitter, right? We're really going to lean on you all to help us amplify our marketing dollars, to be a force multiplier, so that whatever we do in terms of generating tweets or press releases, any content out there, any mentions, that we're going to ask the community to help us, because that's where the incentives are all aligned. Let's get the awareness out there. Let's get people excited about the vision of the new NumisMe. Let's get them really jazzed coming into the project, get the benefit of growing our reach through the way of followers on Twitter, members on Discord, members on Telegram, through retweets, through tweets of their own. What we really want to do is make sure that we can let the world know through everybody's network that we're here to stay. We're building in a bear market. We're continuing to deliver yield through any market conditions. And hey, check it out. We're actually sharing revenue in the form of non-native token, in the form of ETH. Like, for me, that's super cool. It would suck if it was just us on this call thinking that's super cool. We want to get the whole world to think that's super cool. That's kind of where Mr. Pappy comes in, where Aaron comes in, where the community team really comes in to help kind of manage the amplification campaigns that we'll be pushing everybody into once that time is right. This is a group effort. This is a community effort. We need everybody's help to make sure that, hey, if we can move the token price, great. If we get TVL, we get total value locked, we get assets deposited into our vaults. Awesome. But really, we just want to grow. We want to grow the community. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to access the kinds of financial products that we're building in a way that's permissionless, in a way that is, without barriers, and make sure that everybody has kind of that level playing field in order to be able to manage their own wealth and certainly be sovereign on their own wealth, right? Be able to completely control their finances as they see fit, with no middlemen, with no policies that may get in the way, for lack of a better word. There are other words out there. I'll just avoid them for now. But yeah, just really excited to see what this community can do to help us amplify all our marketing dollars. And I did forget one thing. We are listed on CoinGecko currently. We did just get a provisional CMC, a coin market cap listing today. That is something we're working with CMC on currently. They aren't listing it properly. We have been chasing CMC down. They have replied, and we do have a provisional listing. We're just working to make sure that they have all the data that they need to actually start showing all the different aspects of the Noom token on CoinMarketCap. That's a nice little win for today, for sure, getting on CMC.
If you're good, sir, we might be near the end of this.
People have been popping in and asking questions about that, token swap, token transfer, Merkle drop regarding Yaxi holders for some time. So you guys are making like an official statement on that, or like an announcement for that soon, or is this part of it?
As we spoke to in that whole phase 1 roadmap rundown, the token swap, and it's quote unquote swap because it's really just a drop, right? We're not burning any of the tokens that you're swapping. What we're doing is, for everyone that qualifies, we are dropping Noom tokens onto their wallets. The way that they qualify is, as of at this point, a couple months ago, when we did the snapshot, if you were a VE Yaxis holder or just, holding Yaxis in your wallets, we took a snapshot and we detected all of the Yaxis tokens out there. What we did was we gave a ratio on this quote unquote swap, gave a ratio on how many Noom tokens you'd get for the Yaxis tokens that you hold, with a beneficial bias towards giving a higher ratio to folks that locked their Yaxis, right? In terms of being VE Yaxis. And so we're looking to give a nice little drop to anyone that's been supporting the Axis project. But that doesn't mean that we're only looking to attract Yaxis holders here, right? We're looking to integrate that community as much as possible into NumisMe and really get the word out there through the drop that, hey, this is where all that great technology, all the learnings from the Axis project have gone to NumisMe. This is that new roadmap, that new vision, and that fresh start that folks want to perhaps get into for the first time in the form of Noom token. So, that's coming with the new UI that will be rolling out again on app.numisme.io. But yeah, that's right around the corner.
Fantastic.
Like when you said it was creating a powerhouse, I mean, it's really what it's becoming. But people don't realize, like, a lot of the things that Mister's talking about, these developments, like, this isn't far, far in the future. It's not tomorrow, it's not next week, but they're close. They're doing a really great job. They're working really hard to make this stuff get here as quickly as possible, and realistically, too, without sacrificing any testing and ensuring that it's actually all going to work properly. So everything's being done the right way. And it's gonna get done sooner than people think. The more patient people can be right now, the more they're going to be rewarded later. That's really the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that's the secret to investing in a bear market right there. Time in the market will beat timing the market.
Exactly, time in the market, and I think really also in a bear market, what you want to be looking for, as far as let's take it, let's back it out from just being a little spiel about NumisMe and the Noom token. In general, as far as folks that are looking to invest during the bear market in order to take advantage of the dip, quote unquote, in order to get into their positions on various projects while everything's on sale. That's the key to figuring out where you want to invest in a down market when there is blood on the streets is to look for those projects that are committed to building, that are active, that have an engaged team, and really that, during any kind of market conditions, they're able to not just continue to deliver yield, continue to build, continue to action and deliver against a roadmap. That, for me, is the most bullish thing. And if I may say so myself, that's kind of what we're doing right now. So, hey, awesome. I guess I'm pretty bullish on Noom. Those are one of the metrics you want to look at, or one lens you want to view DeFi projects through when you're looking to invest in a down market.
And then, we're going to be active here on the community side of things, too. So you've got a front end and back end of a project where we're not stopping.
And when I say team, I'm including the community side of things, right? And it's activity not just in the Discord and the Telegram, but really also on GitHub and, all the more technical aspects of building. At the heart of all of this is you guys. It's you, Mr. Papp. It's you, Aaron. It's you all that are listening either live or on the recording, the community in general, whether you're in Discord, Telegram, or Twitter, or hey, a little bit of alpha, TikTok soon. We're really, doing this all for the community. And we're hoping that on the community's side of things, they're just as excited as we are for what's being built, what we're building, not just on the smart contract side, but building on the community side as well. Community effort, team effort, whatever you want to call it, we're all in this together. The goal is let's all ride this wave and make all the boats rise together. I don't know how many different analogies I butchered into that one there, but yeah, we're all in this together.
Yes, I love it. That's going to be my new catchphrase for the bear market. We're in it together. We are.
Together.
I mean, you got to have a community to get through this craziness.
One thing to keep in mind is make sure that you're not over leveraged, you're not over invested, because being able to just kind of ride out the bear market, because things are cyclical. This is, whatever badness you might be looking at on different price charts. This has happened before. It will happen again. It's happened many times before. And every rebound from a down market is stronger than the one before, right? Every bear market precedes a bull market. And that's why it's so important to keep building through that bear market, continue to grow through a bear market. So once the bull market hits, that you're set up, that you're ready, and that you have everything you need to take advantage of all the influx of excitement, of capital, right, of new projects that are out there, which will represent new yield strategies for us, that you have all the different ingredients you need to bake a nice oh man, I didn't fully bake actually this analogy before I started, but to bake a successful pie. How about that?
Sounds sweet.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, if that's it, I guess we can wrap it up there. Pretty good Friday on my end. I don't know. Oh, we got. Oh, there you go. Noomish on Noom. We got that comment from Reza and KIVG Noom. Sorry, sir. Not sure how to pronounce that there. King Noom.
I did want to say we got another listener, Mr. Bison, kind of near the end of this, and just wanted to let him know that if he wanted to ask any questions, feel free to post them in while we're still here, man.
Yeah, and if not, we will be posting this up. Is it, I guess, YouTube and TikTok? And we'll post the links up on, post the link up on Twitter too.
Yeah, we might as well. Yeah. I think we got Mountain Sheik is typing. Perhaps it's a question.
While we're waiting on that, it is, he said, have a good weekend, but it's a holiday weekend here in the U.S. Anyone have any good plans?
Oh, hey, just kind of get out there, go to a park maybe, and just celebrate the holiday. For me, it's nothing special.
Yeah.
What about you, Pep? What about you, Aaron?
I might be a bachelor this weekend. The wife is, she's got plans with some of the friends. I'm not sure.
Sounds fun. Awesome.
It's a good opportunity for us to maybe get out of town for a day. 3-day weekend gives my girlfriend enough time to kind of kick back, relax. We have time to take care of anything we need to on a weekend, and then we've got this extra day. So might do a road trip over the weekend.
And if you're in the U.S., not a bad time to pay your respects to the veterans who gave their life in service of the U.S. military. Not to forget that. Thank you. Okay, now we did get thank you, Mountain Sheik. So his question, and thank you for still hanging around. We will edit out the empty space. Many things set Noom apart, but what are the top 5 things that set it apart from other coins? What? I'm going to say in my opinion, what the number one thing is. So, in my opinion, right? I'm not financial advice. I'm not an expert, but when I first came to DeFi, I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed by the terminology. I was overwhelmed by the user interfaces, the excessive number of steps it takes to accomplish anything, right? And if you've been in the space for more than a minute, you get used to it. You get comfortable with it. You don't even think about it anymore. But people come to me, even now, they come to me and they're like, hey, Poppy, I got this question. I'm not sure what to do with the wallet or how to send, tokens and coins between them or how to buy something. It's intimidating. I love that with NumisMe, with that 4-phase roadmap, that the eventual goal there is to have that clean integration between a consumer-facing, retail-friendly, easy-to-use, kind of simplified user application, but still be plugged into those advanced DeFi services should that person choose to. That, for me, I haven't seen done elegantly yet. I've seen various sort of attempts at it, but it's just not there. And then you factor that, you layer that on top of all the other great ideas and the other great things that are going into a roadmap. And I can't help but be excited because that friction to onboarding, that difficulty of onboarding, to me, that's the number one deterrent. That's what keeps people out of DeFi. And DeFi, getting on kind of that soapbox, DeFi is, to me, the future of finance, the fairer version of finance. Like we talked about, Mr. Financial Sovereignty, financial empowerment. Those are things that your bank doesn't care to give you, but these are things that when Satoshi planted that seed with Bitcoin over a decade ago, these were the things that he wanted to give power to us to enable, right? So, yeah, that's what I mean, to me, that's the clear-cut number one thing that I'm excited about.
The real-world use case of this project is probably the number one thing, just as you described it. Personally, I'm going to get a lot of use out of it because I think it's going to help me with
saving money better.
Yeah, man, way better.
Mm-hmm.
Like the money management this, of being able to dedicate all of that change right back into a single place and do whatever you want with it, never lose it. I really appreciate that. I can't wait to use the app. I'm super, super looking forward to it. The second best thing to me is now that the reward opportunities through all of these DeFi utilities that are being introduced is phenomenal. So not only are not only am I not going to lose anything, but now I have all of these like rewarding opportunities ahead of me that gives me much, much more freedom and power over the future of my life than anything else I can imagine. And this, because this project is such a huge potential tool for the transitionary phase into cashless societies that a lot of us see coming in the digital age, it's ground floor of something. I mean, a titan.
Mm-hmm.
From an investor perspective, that's easily on the list as well for me.
And forgive me, I was so focused on phase one of the roadmap that I didn't even think to speak to that next phase where we do have the mobile app. But yeah, you guys both make great points that and I do believe we shared that graphic of how it all works between the app and kind of NumisMe Pro, which is a little bit further down our roadmap. That whole idea of using the app to onboard retail capital in a super simple kind of, our benchmark for user experience is like a Cash App. It's like a Venmo, right? It's something that should be in really easy to understand language, but also shouldn't take many clicks. It shouldn't require that you are a math whiz and be able to forecast what your yield is going to be against your position, and certainly how long it's going to take you to recoup any transaction costs that, if any, that it might take to get into your position. Being able to make DeFi easy, I think, has been kind of a holy grail that a lot of folks have been trying to capture. Making it easy from a mobile app standpoint is kind of even more of a holy grail, I suppose, right? And to Pappy's point, there isn't really a super easy to use DeFi powered mobile app out there. There's just so much jargon. There's just so much technical understanding that's required. We're trying to remove all of that. And so, yeah, I totally agree with you guys. That's something that I'm excited about, and that kind of sets us apart from any other project out there. Definitely the fact that we're sharing revenue in the form of ETH. I think that's huge, because let's not forget the third thing that is really cool for me is that our token is a reflections token. And what that means is that for every transaction of the Noom token, the project actually generates revenue in a few different ways, right? 1% of that quote unquote tax goes to the liquidity pool, and we burn the liquidity token so that it is protocol and liquidity, and it is in perpetuity. So as long as Uniswap v2 exists, our liquidity will be locked there, and it will enable market trades. So 1% goes there. We get another 1% into our dev fund, which is where we fund, incremental development needs, whether it's anything kind of like a Discord bot all the way to new smart contracts, and really to audits, right? Those are not cheap. Then we have another 3% that goes to the marketing fund, and 4% goes straight back to Noom holders. So anybody with Noom in their wallets, you'll get a slice of that 4% back in the form of Noom into your wallets, right? So what does that all mean? That all basically is one, aside from the rewards to the Noom holders and the LP, the revenue that we generate into the dev fund and the marketing fund, those give us additional revenue that we can potentially share above our baseline operational costs. There's a certain split that we'd want to share with VE Noom holders. In other words, folks that stake and lock their Noom tokens. But what that also does, that's also really unique to a DeFi project, is it offloads the pressure, the sell pressure from the Noom token. Because as typical DeFi projects are scaling up, as we're about to do, you do have to pay for things, whether it's operational, whether it's marketing, partnerships / ecosystem. Most of that is usually paid for using the native token. And that's a problem, because unless the person that you're paying, the vendor or the partner that you're paying, is willing to accept straight up native token, in our case, Noom, the only way to access that funding is by selling the token. So what we've done is create this DeFi protocol that has revenue coming in through just the transactions of the token. And what that does is it makes it so we don't have to sell Noom. The project does not have to sell Noom in order to fund operations, in order to light up marketing campaigns. So that's one source of revenue. And I think, maybe number 4 is the fact that we're also generating revenue off of our vaults. The TBL that we can capture, the vault deposit amounts that we can capture, will essentially be directly tied to how much revenue we generate off of that, right? And as I spoke to before, the fact that we are fully dynamic in terms of how we capture that revenue from Vault TBL, we're able to do it in non-native token. So the great thing about that is we'll be stacking, a lot of ETH, potentially some governance tokens, and that gives us additional revenue for not just baseline operational costs, but to share back to the eNoom holders, to folks that stake and lock their Noom. So yeah, those are kind of the things that are exciting to me. And then I guess maybe since Mountain Chic asked about the top 5, the 5th thing that I think is really cool, the fact that, and maybe Aaron touched on this a bit before too, the fact that we are talking to real world partners, right? When we say we have partnerships, we're talking about both crypto, DeFi, ecosystem partners, but we're also speaking to real life big box retailers. I don't want to go too into those conversations. I don't want to jeopardize any of the deals that are currently being discussed, but it's that real world utility. It's being able to tap into those real world touch points in the form of those points of sale, the places where you actually transact, physical dollars, physical bills, physical coins. Being able to tap into that and bring that real world utility, for me, I think that's just so cool. It's something that, I think rounds out the list, certainly, of things that we're doing in quite a different way from the way, typical DeFi projects operate these days. So yeah, that's my top 5.
I think it's good for the crypto space, man. People need to see these kinds of crypto projects that have this level of real world application and integration to realize that this is a real thing and that it's a valuable thing. So I'm really think that's why I emphasize that so much. It's good for everybody. It's good for the users. It's good for the industry. And then, of course, as far as, it's good for the world in the sense of during that, transitionary time to cashless society, we can make sure that, wealth and power isn't completely centralized. That at least, there's some other options out there. We can be part of that solution.
Absolutely.
So Daniel 007, I guess he's undercover. Yes, what communities or projects out there would be beneficial to collaborate with, knowing their communities are similar to us?
We're always looking to collaborate. We're always looking for partnerships with other communities. Really specifically, though, the kinds of things that we're looking at are potentially bribery markets, communities that have a secondary bribe system out there. There are a couple projects that we continue to speak with, but always open, always looking to have more conversations. We are very interested in talking to liquidity partners, but really, number one, that kind of worked kind of from the bottom up, right? It's kind of, we'd love to talk to more bribery market partners. We'd love to get, liquidity partners in there. But really, at the top of it, we're looking to talk to investment DAOs. Okay, so one way that we can attract TVL, which again is directly tied to revenue, which again is directly tied to how much is shared and dropped in the form of ETH, we're very much interested in pitching the institutions and project treasuries out there that do have funds that are looking to deploy their funds and get the project funds working for them, right? So instead of having this big stash of whatever it is that they stash, right? Whether it's ETH, it's an ETH-based investment DAO, maybe it's a CVX-based investment DAO, whatever that bulk of the token it is that they hold in their treasury. We're very much interested in working with them and helping them manage their project treasury and manage the growth of their project treasuries. So anybody that's out there that's, maybe you're a part of Syndicate DAO, right? If you're out there and, you have friends, or maybe you're interested in forming your own syndicate group to get into group investing, we'd love to talk to those guys. We'd love to talk to any of the other projects out there. And hey, shout out to Bankless. Would love to talk to Bankless. Would love to talk to you guys about getting on a podcast, actually. I think that'd be great. We do love the newsletter, so we've got our eye on that as well. But anybody with ties into those communities, specifically the ones we named, and in general, those bribery market and liquidity partners and investment DAOs in general, please do. Hit us up, whether it's in the Discord on general, or it's a DM, or even a DM on our Twitter account. However you see fit to reach out to us, hit us up. Let us know. Let's get the conversation going, and hey, let's see what's possible. Again, we are in it together, so we do want to make sure that anybody that does introduce us or brings us a deal or is responsible for growing our TVL is also rewarded. So that's kind of on a case-by-case basis. But let's be clear that the incentives need to be there, right? So we do want to make sure we take care of folks. So if you can make those introductions for us, if you can get those conversations going, awesome. We can always talk about ways to make sure that it's a beneficial relationship for us and for you. But yeah, that was a great question.
That was good. Thank you. You gave a much more elegant answer than what I had. Great one.
Maybe just more words.
We'll just cut my part out. So
well, you have that power, sir.
I do. I'm recording. No one will ever know that I gave a bad answer. Just do one more scan. I do like Back to the Future memes. That's a good one. But I don't think I see any new questions. So, gentlemen, is it time to wrap it up?
It is time.
Well, in that case, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. If you're in the U.S., long weekend, enjoy the extra time off. And if anything else, any other questions, anything comes up, you guys know where to find us. Have a good day.